Good morning.
So for most of you, it's the first time in France. Yes. And you will visit Paris. I'm sure you will enjoy Paris. It's a magnificent city. So I will be your tour guide today. I will show you the most famous highlight of Paris, most famous monuments. And you will have a free time near the Eiffel Tower. So you will enjoy the area close to the Eiffel Tower. Was driving from going to Paris, and we have planned to make a short stop on the highway. If you want to go to the restroom.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Okay. Just before arriving to Paris. By the afternoon in Paris, we should have 26 degrees Celsius. It's 78 degrees Fahrenheit. So we will see the Arc of Triumph. We will go down the Champs-Élysées Avenue. You will see Notre Dame from outside. Notre Dame, which is actually under restoration. And you will see the Louvre Museum, which was formerly the palace of the kings of France. And we will make a stop to the Eiffel Tower, where you will have your free time. Around 2 hours of free time to enjoy Paris.
2 hours is very nice for us. Yeah, just for lunch or whatever.
So we are leaving the deep water port of Le Havre, located in the north-western of France, on the right bank of the mouth of the river Seine. It's a city of 180,000 inhabitants, and it's the second largest port of France, after Marseille, which is located in the southeast of France, and the third in Europe, after Rotterdam in Netherlands. But it's the largest containers port in France.
So that's the first time you think of your...
Yes. You have to put your seat belt on. It's obligatory in France for your security.
On your day off, you can take off.
By King Francis I, a famous king of the Renaissance period in France. The king who built the magnificent castles in the Loire Valley, and the king who had invited Leonardo da Vinci to come to France. Francis I came to Italy for his military campaign and came back with many Italian artists. And he invited Leonardo da Vinci to come to France in 1516. And Leonardo da Vinci died in France in 1519. And it's for this reason that we have the painting of Mona Lisa in the Louvre Museum. So we are driving along the marina. You can see boats. It's here that the Jacques Vabre transatlantic race starts. It will be at the end of the month. It's a yachting race that follows the historic coffee trading routes between Le Havre and Brazil. Just have a look on the left side, you can see the railway station. It's here that you can take a train for going to Paris, and then you will arrive to the Saint-Lazare railway station, one of the 6 railway stations of Paris. On the right side, you have the docks. It was formerly a warehouse, a place of storage for coffee and cotton in the 19th century. And then it was turned into a shopping mall. Le Havre was the port of departure of the French expedition of René Goulême to the New World, and they created the first French colony at Fort Caroline in Florida. And maybe you know that the deepwater port of Le Havre is twinned with the city of Tampa in Florida. Somebody from Tampa in the bus? Nobody? No? During the American War of Independence in the 18th century, Le Havre became an important trading and transatlantic harbour. All produce such as coffee, tobacco, exotic wood, which came from the colony, arrived to Le Havre and then were distributed all over Europe. And this trade brought a great prosperity to the city. Early in the conflict, in 1940, the city of Le Havre was occupied by the German army and was liberated by the Allied forces on 12 September 1944. It was a turning point in the Battle of Normandy. Completely destroyed during World War II and was rebuilt after the war by the French architect Auguste Perret, the pioneer of concrete construction. He rebuilt a city with concrete. And maybe you know that Le Havre is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site because it's a good example of architecture and town planning of the post-war area. Soccer stadium, football stadium, soccer, with an all-seater capacity of 20,000 seats. It is said that the seagulls damage the roof because they confuse it with the ocean. They damage the roof with their beaks. Port of departure of the Statue of Liberty. Yes? The Statue of Liberty left Le Havre in 1885 for going to the United States, and the statue was so big that they were obliged to divide it in 300 pieces. The Statue of Liberty was was a present given to the American people to celebrate the friendship between the two countries and to celebrate the 100 years anniversary of the Independence Day, the 4th of July 1775. 74.
Look at the sun. That's the sun here in Havre, France. Beautiful.
Just have a look in front of you.
Sun.
You have a wonderful sunset. Huh?
No, sunrise.
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 Do you know the painting of Claude Monet, Impression Sunrise? No, you don't know? Le Havre was the city of Claude Monet. He spent his child youth and youth here in Le Havre, and it's here that he had painted Impression Sunrise, like this morning, representing the harbour of Le Havre. And this painting was exhibited to the independent art exhibition in Paris in 1874. And the critics gave to the painting the name of Impressionist. And Claude Monet became the leader of the Impressionist movement. So I told you that the Statue of Liberty was given by the French people to celebrate the Independence Day, the 4th of July 1776. It was made by the sculptor Bartholdi, Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi. And maybe you know that we have another Statue of the Liberty in Paris, just of Grenelle Bridge on a man-made island. And you will see this statue this afternoon, and when we will leave Paris. Of Le Havre, the main industries in Le Havre are oil refining. You have cement factories, synthetic rubbers, and fertilizer. A factory. It's a car plant established there since 1964. Normandy. The origin of the name Normandy came from the North Main, people from the north, because the Vikings invaded the region in the 9th century and decided to settle there. And later, in 911, was signed a treaty, the Treaty of Saint-Clair, with Rollo, the leader of the Vikings, and the King of France. And Rollo, the leader of the Vikings, became the first Duke of Normandy, and his duchy became very powerful. Then in the 11th century, William, Duke of Normandy, invaded England and became King of England. He was crowned King of England on Christmas Day, 1066. Years war. The Normandy region was occupied during 40 years by the English. The 100 Years' War was a very long war, more than 100 years, between the Kingdom of France and the Kingdom of England. It it was between 1337 and 1452. So more than 100 years. About at the stake in the city of Rouen in Normandy. But the most famous date in the Normandy history is the 6th June 1944. The Normandy region was the first part of France liberated by the Allied forces. Just imagine, on Tuesday, 6th June 1944, early in the morning, at 6:30 a.m., 5,000 battleships came along the Normandy coast, 2,000 military planes, 23,000 paratroopers, 170,000 militias, and 20,000 military cars and tanks arrived on 5 beaches of Normandy. Omaha Beach and Utah Beach, where the American landed, Gold Beach and Sword Beach, where the British landed, and Juno Beach, where the Canadian landed. Place in Normandy, the British Prime Minister Winston Churchill was convinced that the only possibility to beat the Germans was to place the war on the French territory. A decision was taken after the meeting of Tehran, which took place in Iran in November 1943. The three main leaders of the Allied forces, Joseph Stalin for the Soviet Union, Franklin Roosevelt for the United States, and Winston Churchill for the Great Britain, made a military decision. The landing point will be in France. The Germans were persuaded that the landing operation will take place in the north of France, in the Pays de Calais area, because it was the closest point to England, only 19 miles between the city of Calais and the city of Douvres. So for this reason, the Allied forces chose the Normandy. And the Allied forces stayed in England for the preparation of the landing operation. Channel, and there was a concentration of troops in Great Britain in preparation of the invasion. And the code name of the operation, the organization of the operation was made by the American General Eisenhower, and the code name was Overlord. We will cross the Seine estuary. We will leave the right bank of the Seine river. We're going to the left bank, and we will cross the Tancarville Bridge. Tancarville is the name of the bridge. This bridge was constructed in 1959 and had completely changed the economical life of the region. It was made to connect the deepwater port of Le Havre to the city of Rouen. And you have a very nice view on the Seine estuary. And you can see also fog on the countryside, on the landscape. It's here that the Seine River is entering inside of the ocean. Yes, it's very nice to see the countryside with fog. So you know that the Seine is the name of the river crossing Paris from east to west and divided the city in two parts. In the north, you have the right bank, in the south, the left bank. So you can see some chaos of Normandy. Can you see it on the right? There are 6 million head of cattle in Normandy, and the cows in Normandy are brown and cream. And the breed is used for both milk and beef, with an accent on the milk production. The milk is particularly suitable to make cheese. And they have very good quality of cheese, very famous, like the camembert. Do you know camembert?
Yes.
A famous cheese of Normandy. Emergency phone number, just in case you have a problem during your free time in Paris. If you get lost, you have to use this emergency phone number.
Pour partir, on peut payer l'heure pour arriver à 17h45, sachant qu'on va s'arrêter un quart d'heure, 20 minutes sur l'autoroute. 14h45.
To 10. Is it alright for everybody?
Yes.
We stop there 20 minutes. $10.55, huh? $9.55, sorry.
Okay, got it.
So we are here in France. I'm not sure what is this city, but we are still in France. And there's a sunboard in Paris. So we are going to Paris.
A part of the large forest of Versailles. The first king who came to Versailles was the King Louis XIV. And he liked so much the forest that he built a small hunting lodge in the middle of the forest to spend one night there, to have a rest, because it was a long way to travel between Paris and Versailles. 2 hours horse riding for going to Versailles and 2 more for going to Paris, because the kings of France lived in Paris in the Louvre Palace. The Louvre, before being a museum, was the residence of the kings of France. So the King Louis XIII built a small hunting lodge, and his son Louis XIV enlarged the small hunting lodge and built a magnificent castle, the Castle of Versailles. And 3 kings had lived there: Louis XIV, Louis XV, and Louis XVI. The 6th October 1789, it was the beginning of the French Revolution, and Louis XVI and his wife Marie Antoinette were obliged to come back to Paris. They lived in the Tuileries Palace in Paris, and you know the end of the story. They were beheaded. Louis XVI was beheaded the 21st January 1793, and the Queen Marie Antoinette the 16th October 1793. It was the end of the monarchy system, extreme monarchy system. I know it's difficult for you to understand the French history, because we have so many revolutions. But you have to know that after the revolution of 1789, after the death of the King Louis XVI in 1793, we had the First Empire. First Empire means Napoleon I. Napoleon I was crowned emperor the 2 December 1804. And the fall of Napoleon I was in 1813. After that we had the Restoration period. Restoration means restoration of kings. The 2 brothers of Louis XVI who escaped from France during the French Revolution and came back after the First Empire. The King Louis XVIII and the King Charles X. After that, we had another revolution, the Revolution of July 1830, with a new king, Louis Philippe, from the Orléans family. And after Louis Philippe, we had another Napoleon, Napoleon III. Napoleon I was a nephew of Napoleon I. And after the war of 1870 against the Prussians, it was the fall of Napoleon III. And we had the French Republic with presidents. Is it clear for you now? Yes. Is it alright for the air conditioning, or do you want more? It's good? I'm fine. You are fine? But you know, when the Eiffel Tower was built for the Wolf exhibition of 1889, the Parisian people did not like it and wanted to destroy it. There was a petition of 300 signatures asking the demolition of the Eiffel Tower, but finally they didn't. And it's the most famous monument of Paris. To give you an idea, the Eiffel Tower is 984 feet high, and it was the highest building of the world before the construction of the Empire State Building in New York City in 1933.